Hello, my friends. Liberty Garden coming to you from the home gym. Today's workout was bench press, squat, overhead press, and the deadlift. It was a hard day today. The bench press felt real good. I did 140 for the first two sets, and then 145 for the last set. I kind of like to do the last set to be my next weight for the next session, so I kind of get a feel for it. Doesn't feel too bad the next time I round. That's what I did. It was very, very good. No shoulder pains or nothing. Normally I do the squat first, but this time I did the bench because I noticed that the bench loosens up my shoulders and back quite a bit. And by the time I get to the squat, my shoulders don't hurt so much when I kind of have to crawl under that bar to get it to be low in my back. So the bench loosens up the shoulders. I know I saw a video today by Ivan Dijuric. He's got a channel and he's been squatting every day for the last 5 years or something. Amazing. And he was mentioning that today also. And I had already noticed that some time back that doing the bench first would help a lot with the squat. So that's what I did. I said to change the order. So now I'm doing bench, squat, overhead press, and deadlift. So in between the squat and the deadlift, there's the overhead press as a little pause. So that's all good. I want to talk about back pain. I got a comment from Red October on one of my last video, and I told him I was gonna make some comments to in that regard to back pain. And there's nothing. I'm not exposing him or anything. I just want to give my 2 cents on back pain and what's been my experience with it, right? Not anybody's experience, just mine. So take it for what it's worth. My opinion ain't worth much because I'm not a doctor. I'm not a chiropractor. I'm just a guy that likes to learn by himself and kind of do his own thing. So we're told for a very small age that hurting our back or getting a hernia is the end of the world. This advice is usually dispensed by an elder in the family, your aunt, your mom, your uncle, etc. And it's passed down from generation to generation, right? The truth is that hurting your back in any significant way, at least doing weights, right? As a hobbyist or as a novice, is very difficult when you use proper format. A lot of people who hurt their backs maybe are in a car crash, or they went to the military, or they did a repetitive job for a long time. Like the guys that deliver 5-gallon jugs of water, doing it for a long time, they usually have back pain. But just doing weights, it's kind of hard to hurt your back if you take your proper precautions of good format and warming up and stuff like that. So what people often take for back injury is often a tweaked lower back. Basically, the muscle's doing its job that is protecting your spine. When you overload it, it'll send a sharp signal to you telling, hey, dummy, don't do this. And that's lower back pain, right? And it could be debilitating, and it hurts. It hurts a lot. But it's usually a muscle that got tweaked, and it goes away in time. Sometimes you don't warm up, or maybe you're helping your girlfriend unload a freezer from the back of your truck, and You're trying to show off or something, and that's how you end up tweaking your back, right? But it's mostly your muscles just kind of shouting at you, telling you, "Hey, you're doing it wrong." And it lasts a few days, and then when finally it goes away, well, you don't want to ever feel that again, and until you kind of convince yourself that you actually have a back injury. Back that time when I unloaded the fridge for grandma, I hurt my back. And you're afraid to do anything like that again because the pain was so damn nasty that you don't want to repeat that again. But in reality, you may not have any back pain. And maybe it's just a hallucination in your head that takes you back to that event, but you may not. Now, if you have back pain, I mean, if you have a blown disc, an MRI will tell you that, right? I mean, that's about the only way you can tell. But if it's muscular, it might go away. You might not have anything. But I'm not saying this is the case with anybody. That's just my case. I mean, I was last August. I was doing the deadlift, and what happened was that it was late at night, and I loaded the deadlift, the last exercise. So I loaded the bar with 2 plates on each side, so 225. And by the time I realized it, I went to go to bed, and I said, well, I just did the squat. My back is warmed up. I bet I can just warm up with 225 and then just add my work weight and call it a day. So I did that, and well, that was a big mistake. That was a big mistake. I picked up the weight, and the moment I did that, it felt a little funny. This first rep, the second rep felt a little more awkward. By the third rep, I dropped the weight and I just kind of hobbled my way back to my lazy boy, and started contemplating my life choices because it was that painful. For the next 3 days, I couldn't sleep. I mean, I was getting very little sleep. It was painful. I mean, I couldn't even get out of bed, or if I moved in bed, it hurt. I mean, there was times where I would spend the whole night in my lazy boy just because it felt a little more comfortable than laying flat. It was so bad that I finally broke down and went to see the chiropractor. And this was only after a week after I first hurt my back. That whole thing, what doesn't kill you makes you strong. Well, that's a big lie. Sometimes what doesn't kill you makes you feel like an idiot when you do it again. And that's what I did. I mean, a week later, I went back, and this time I just loaded 135 on the deadlift. And by the second rep, I had to drop the weight as well, and I was back to square one, right? So, and I was just like in pain. Finally, I did some stretches. I looked on YouTube what to do. I did a lot of things. Nothing worked. I finally broke down and went to the chiropractor. I mean, I don't believe in chiropractors. I am one of the most skeptical persons when it comes to the medical industry, especially the chiropractors. But the pain was so bad that I just said, maybe this guy can do something for me. So I went to him, and he made me lay down in a bed. He put some little chalk pads on my side where the affected area was, and he started cranking the knob on the little machine there. And he says, "Does this hurt? No. Does this hurt? No. Does this hurt? No." And I could feel like a little current going through my body, or through that area, but it wasn't really painful or anything. He finally cranked it all the way to the highest setting. He says, "Does this hurt?" No, I'm fine. It feels good actually. And he says, "Okay, well, I'm gonna turn off the light and I'll be back in 10 minutes." Next thing I know, I wake up to bright lights, and the guy is kind of pushing my shoulder. And so you fell asleep. Oh, he says, "Sorry," I told him. I mean, I haven't been getting much sleep in the last 5 nights. I've been getting about 3 hours of sleep because of this damn pain. And he says, "Have you been in a car crash?" I said, "No." "Have you been to the military? If you, like, had an explosion near you or something?" I said, "No, I never had any of that happen to me." He says, "Well, most people cannot resist the shocks at the level you did, and you fell asleep. I said, well, man, I'm just super tired, man. And the shocks kind of felt nice on my area because I'm in such pain that it just felt nice. So, so finally, he took me off that thing, and and then he took me to another bed where he kind of made me put me on the side. He tried to crack my back. He couldn't crack it, and he tried it several times. He couldn't crack it. So he left it at that. He said, "Well, just take it easy." I told him, "Well, you think I have any blown disc or something?" It felt that way. It felt that way at the time. Just, well, you can't tell. It's just, but 99% of the time, if it's your first time, and if it just happened, doing what you described you were doing, it's probably a muscle that's just reacting. It's just your muscle, like I think he said, spazzing out or irritated or something, and that can be real painful. So he says just take some rest and just do some stretches. He told me what to do, some stretches and stuff like that, and that was it. So I came home again, still limping. His office is in the second off in the second floor, and there's no elevator. Good place for a chiropractor to have his office. But anyway, I got back home and I started looking at YouTube, and I found this doctor. I forget his name, and he has some exercises. One was like the bird dog exercise, where you put one leg back and one arm stretched in front of you. Look it up. You'll stumble into this guy. And those exercises started working magic for me. I started doing them every night, just a little bit of what I could endure, and it worked out real good. In about a week and a half, the pain was almost gone, and also I was resting. I wasn't putting more weight on my back or anything, and then the pain gradually subsided, and I started working out again. And the other thing is that a lot of people on YouTube, what they were saying was that the deadlift was the solution to a deadlift injury. And it sounds kind of counterproductive, sounds kind of stupid, sounds like bravado, but I'm here to tell you it's kind of true. And then going back to the original point, if you let a little injury like that, if you walk away because of a little injury like that, then your back may get weaker, or maybe you're always avoiding stressing your back because you think having in your head that you actually blew a disc or something, and then your back gets weaker. But the fact is that you probably don't have anything. And I'm not saying. I mean, that was the case for me, right? And I had a really really bad case of just a swollen muscle or something in the back, right? So going back to this is like there's probably more people out there that have back injuries as a result of sitting in a desk for 20 years than as a result of doing deadlift with proper form. And if you talk about the super, the strong man, all those guys, the guys that are on steroids, whatever, yeah, may have something. But if you're just as a hobby, just a novice, intermediate, and you watch your form and you watch you do your proper warm ups and you don't go crazy with the weight, you don't do any vanity lifting or anything like that. I mean, I could have done 10, 15 pounds more easily on the squat today, but I'm just taking it slowly because I'm building back up, right? I mean, I was doing 185 a while ago, and I could have done probably 225. But I'm just taking it easy, building it up slowly. I mean, I don't want to have another episode, but I didn't stop or walk away from the squats, from the deadlifts. Here I'm at the deadlift. I'm doing 250, and I can probably do about 280 right now, 290. But like I said, I mean, I'm just kind of rehabbing and just getting back to where I was before, and it was pain free, and I don't feel anything. I feel strong. So I would say that if you think you have a back injury, maybe you don't. You may, but the only way you can find out for sure is through an MRI. Other than that, you may not have anything, and you may be overprotecting your back to the point where it actually gets weaker. So just a word of advice, and I'm not saying you need to start doing the deadlift or weightlifting or whatever. I'm saying that any muscle that doesn't get tested, stressed from time to time gets weaker. So you might want to consider that in your life, because any repetitive action that you do, either whatever you do in life is repetitive, but it's likely to cause injury if your muscles are not strong. So I mean, golfers they get lower back problems all the time, and they get knee problems all the time. I bet if those guys had a stronger back through a little deadlifting, and there may be stronger legs to anchor themselves, they wouldn't be blowing out their knees and their lower backs all the time. But well, that's just my take on it. Do with it what you want. Thanks for watching, and until next time, folks.